Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. So, I don't typically talk about sisters, but I want to talk about this particular episode. So, if you're brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns on reality TV shows and scripted, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So, if you enjoy that type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And thumbs up the video if you enjoyed this particular piece of content. Let's talk Sistas season 4, episode 13, Shaking in the Rain. All right. Um, it wasn't a lot to this episode, so let's wrap up the lesser storylines and let's get to what we really want to talk about. All right. So first with Fatima. Fatima is still in jail. Hayden was being a bitch and called the police on her for busting up his car windows and busting up his house with that bat when she thought that he was the one that had Zach arrested. Okay. So he had her arrested like right inside her job. He sees Andy, tells Andy that Fatima's in jail, she's not gonna get out. He has her on camera, and ultimately he wants to go to talk to the partners to get her fired. Hayden is just the epitome of why women give their numbers to men that they really don't want to give their numbers to, basically. He has been harassing this woman. He has been stalking this woman. He has been basically tormenting this woman, spying on her, invading her privacy, doing everything possible because he can just not acknowledge that she does not want him. She does not want you, Hayden. So Fatima is sitting in jail. Andy goes to, act as her lawyer, and come to find out that the judge that Hayden is working with does not tolerate physical abuse or violence in any way. So she gonna be sitting there for a while. Fatima has the audacity to have an attitude about it, and I like Fatima. Fatima is the most likable out of all the sisters on the show, but girl, you did a lot, and that's why you're in the situation you're in now. Andy still thinks that Gary has like bugged her house, which he probably has, because he didn't seem too concerned about Paris being there or Robin coming. So Andy is going to hire Fuego, who also has a tech company, in addition to working on that other show that Eva is on, The Queen's Men. So in addition to him being a stripper, he also has this tech company. So his company's gonna come do a sweep of Andy's apartment to see if there are any cameras or microphones or anything like that that Gary might be using to spy on her. Danny. Danny is Danny is at work, and she was working with that, or she was avoiding that undercover cop who was working to help those girls that have been kidnapped and sold into trafficking. So we see four girls get reunited. Heartfelt, great. But then he directly shifts his attention to wanting to take Danny out on a date. Danny doesn't want to date. Danny doesn't want a man. Danny wants to be alone and bitter and pine over Preston, and Danny is the realest character on the show, but she's also the most annoying because nobody wants to be around or talk to the woe is me person. You know what I mean? Danny's very self-loathing, very self-deprecating, very self girl get over it. Very self girl get over it, basically. But her and the undercover cop or FBI agent, whatever he is, they have a little back and forth banter, but eventually they're going to end up going out for drinks or dinner, whatever the case. Sabrina. Sabrina, remember, she was hanging out with that African guy who owns that bar, that restaurant she was at with Calvin. He sent her over all these different flowers. We see a very pointless scene in the bank. But somebody tweeted something on Twitter that had me hollering. This girl tweeted, "Now Sabrina, we not gonna take that call to your office. I swear Sabrina's bank is so unprofessional That's why it's always empty, bad reviews, lol. When you think about it, Sabrina does have the most unprofessional bank. I mean, Maurice goes around and does whatever the hell he wants. Calvin comes in, gets loud, walks up into her office. Like, there's never any work going on. Like, Sabrina literally looks at Zach's bank statements and bank things all the time. They talk about what's in people's bank accounts all the time. No one's ever really doing any work. Calvin, who doesn't work there, has been allowed to go sit in the room while Maurice is counting the drawers. What? Come on, Tyler Perry. Like, I get it. It's TV. It's fictitious. We know. But so much stuff that Tyler Perry allows to go on at that bank should not go on at that bank. Calvin comes in. Calvin is being super cunty like he typically is. And he's mad that Sabrina not only went out with that guy who Calvin picked the fight with, but that he has that she has received flowers from him. I really want Calvin and Sabrina to move on, be done with each other, leave us alone, leave each other alone. Calvin find a new bank. Everything about them is annoying. Every single thing. Calvin is the most annoying, pointless character on this show. Because he's not even really in a for real relationship with Sabrina. Y'all have had so many ups and downs that is it even worth it at this point? Is it even worth it at this point? What is the point of Calvin? Because what really baffles me about Calvin is Calvin literally had another woman at his apartment, at that house. Sabrina caught the other woman coming out of his room. Like, so you caught her in the act because you decided that y'all were best, to date around and take it very slow. So you got caught with another woman, yet you're mad that another man sent her flowers. Calvin is so annoying. Oh my God. Calvin is so annoying. And I'm sick of him wearing his shirts half tucked in, half tucked out. I don't know what part of the game that is, but that's annoying too. So, the big coup de grace of the episode. We finally find out if Karen is really pregnant or not. Now, we spent all last season, okay, or the first half of this season, first half of season 4, trying to figure out, is Karen, not only is she really pregnant, but who is the father? Aaron has really stepped up in a way and has told, Karen that no matter what the case, he will be there to not only support her, but to support this baby. Even if it's not his baby, he's willing to support the baby. But he said he's been doing the math. He's been mathing and adding and subtracting and multiplying. And he feels that there's a real possibility that the baby could be his. Karen, on the other hand, has felt this entire time she don't give a damn what paternity says, what science says, what biology says. She wants the baby to be Zach's. Why? Because she feels like that'll keep her, that's her one way to stay connected to Zach, right? Because if the baby is Zach's, Zach has to talk to her in some capacity. He can't keep ignoring her the way that he is, like, ignoring her and basically paying her dust right now. So, they go to the doctor's office together because Aaron was not playing. Aaron said, we need to nip this in the bud. Let's find out if the baby is mine and if the baby is mine so that we can start, to set up and get things in motion so that I can start providing for my child. Even if they're not going to be in a relationship, Aaron is willing to take care of this baby. Now, we know that Sabrina has a hard-on for Zach still. Karen has a hard-on for Zach still, so she does not want to admit that there is a real possibility that Aaron could be the father. It is weird. It's creepy. It's giving stalker. It's giving obsessed. It's giving Karen girl learn when to say goodbye, right? So while they're in there, Aaron is telling her it's a real possibility. We're willing to wait for all the testing. Karen doesn't want to wait for the testing. All Karen wants to hear is, yes, you are pregnant, or no, you aren't pregnant, so she can hightail her ass out of there and not have to, deal with the consequences or the real reality that Aaron just might be that child's father. So when the doctor does come back, and she tells Karen, "You are indeed pregnant," Karen immediately gets happy. Not at the prospect of bringing life into the world, not at the prospect of having a baby and building a family, even if it is just her and the baby. That's not why Karen is excited. Karen is excited because, boom, now I have a link to Zach. That's what Karen is excited about, knowing that she can now link on to Zach. Now, when the doctor starts to tell her how far along she is, she makes Aaron leave the room. Why? Because if Aaron hears that if Aaron hears the time frame and how far along she is, then Aaron can't go back and get to mathing to put together two and two to find out and figure out that that really is his baby. So Aaron looks very like low-key disgusted and upset with her that he has to leave the room. The doctor, being super nosy, I guess you can say, is asking, is everything okay? Are you guys together? What's going on? And what's her name? Karen likes to make very, very, very clear that everybody knows, including this here doctor, we're not together. He's really just the nigga that came with me, is really what Karen wanted to say. So come to find out, Karen is 4 weeks pregnant. Her face, the fact that her face immediately dropped, lets you know she knows that baby cannot be Zach's then. Now I know Tyler Perry time. She's been pregnant for probably the past 2 years that we've been watching the show real time. But I believe her and Zach only slept together maybe 2 weeks ago this time. Or would it have been, it might have been longer. No, it would have been longer. So I think Karen and Zach slept together well before that 4 weeks. And I think Aaron, because she ended up sleeping with Aaron after that. So that's why she was hoping that she was farther along, because then it would solidify it being Zach's, because she slept with Zach well before she slept with Aaron. So my whole thing is, I hope we do not see Karen lying about this shit next week. You need to be honest with this man. Do not lie about whose baby that is. Now, I know that there's nothing that Aaron can do aside from really request paternity, but the last thing you want, Karen, is for you to have this baby. You go along with this and you're saying that is Zach's baby. Fatima has Zach get a paternity test, and now you come to find out that this is not even Zach's baby. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it to Zach. Don't do it to that baby. Don't do it to Aaron. You need to be balls to the wall honest and tell Aaron that it is a real possibility. And we know, because the way that she slammed her hand on the desk and asked that doctor to, to really, let's find out more about this math, see if it's really mathing the way that it's mathing right now. So I'm interested. Sistas has me hooked now. All the other storylines are boring, but I want to see how Karen is going to handle this. Because Karen wants a fuckboy, right? She likes the fact that Zach used to cheat on her and that Zach was kind of like beneath her. Aaron is a good looking guy. He probably owns his own house. He has money. He has a good job. He is really ready to be in a relationship with her. He's ready to have this family with her. She also commented and said that Aaron, why is he always so nice to her? And it is so sad when women ask questions like that. Why would you ask somebody why they're nice to you? Nothing about Aaron he's a little creepy. But aside from that, nothing about Aaron gives the fact that he's plotting and planning against her. Nothing against the sort. And if you do feel that way, you're the one that let that man sit in your car right when you first met him after you ran into him in the grocery store and y'all sitting in the car eating ice cream together. It's a shame what Tyler Perry has really done to Karen's character. It's a shame. Let me know how you guys feel about this. Do you think that Karen is going to be honest and tell Aaron that he more than likely is the father? Or do you think she's going to deny, and tell Zach that he's the father? Let me know how you guys feel about this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Catch you guys in the next one.